Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel or Izzy here. Oh boy, so I read a lot of books in September. So before I get into that, I just want to say that any and all reading that you are doing is magnificent. This year has been wild. If you can't read right now, that's totally okay. Maybe one of these will spark your interest. And also I wanted to share that I'm switching up my formatting a little bit for these. I'm gonna give this a try. We'll see how I feel about it after the fact and what y'all think. Instead of going in order, I'm gonna tell you the books I DNF'd this month, if I DNF'd any. And then we're gonna go from least to best rated books, give or take. This is just hard because I read 29 books this month and I've got a lot of stats for you as well. So those 29 books accounted for about 8,243 pages. Whew. I listened to a total of 15 audiobooks this month. I've told y'all again and again, audiobooks are what are getting me through right now, and I can't encourage you enough to explore them. And then I wanted to share that I did read a total of 5 books from Kindle Unlimited, which is not too bad. My goal is generally at least 2. 3 from Audible Escape, which is not great considering it's going away at the end of this month. Only one of my Hoopla checkouts did I get to. And let's see. I listened to 2 from Scribd, and then 6 total that I counted at least were from my library. Most of those, again, probably audiobooks besides the KU books. I really do use a variety of resources to consume that many audiobooks. Alright, so if I read a book for a video, I will let you know, and I will link that video up above in the cards and in the description box down below, and then I'll just quickly go through it. And if I talked about it in my mid-month wrap-up, I will kind of give you a quick summary here, but we're not gonna like go as in depth. I don't want this to be 40 minutes. Oh, I don't know if I could even talk that long if it was 40 minutes, to be honest with you. I forgot my coffee though, so we're doing this. I DNF'd 3 books this month. These are my first DNFs of the year that I've tracked that were kind of hard DNFs. I'm proud of myself because though I encourage everyone else to DNF, I do not feel that I take my own advice and DNF books quickly enough. So first, I DNF'd Her Perfect by Steffi Wells. This had eating disorder triggers for me that I did not want to deal with at the time. It is a book I want to read at some point, but this isn't the year for me. Then I DNF'd Sexy Beast by Jackie Ashton. This one was part of the childhood sweethearts trope of sorts, and I had massive issues with the way the BDSM was being handled in this book, as in not appropriately, so I DNF'd it. And then yesterday, literally on the 30th, I DNF'd Praying for Rain by B.B. Easton. I just didn't like the writing, honestly. I have hesitated for a long time to read different B.B. Easton books. 4 men and 44 chapters is just not my thing. I think it's not for me. It's okay if it's for you. I don't care. Like, you enjoy your books, please do. But just, it was never for me. It never appealed to me. So I thought I would try Praying for Rain. And honestly, the writing was just not for me. At the end of the day, I wasn't invested. I wasn't really interested. And I don't know that this kind of dystopian story was what I want to read right now, if that makes sense. All right, now we dive in to the one-star book I read this month, which is Skeleton King by Charity B. So there's a whole reading vlog. I did a 24-hour reading vlog where I read Halloween-y books. Again, links above and below. And what can I say about Skeleton King besides the fact that Tamika says you should read it, aka Library of Tomes, and I say you should skip it and just watch my reactions, because that book is filthy. It is the fan fiction no one asked for, no one wanted. I'm telling you right now, the Nightmare Before Christmas girls don't want this book either. I can almost guarantee it, okay? Like, there's just no way. I'm still astounded that it's on Amazon. It is in KU. If you do decide to read it, don't buy it. I bought it, and I took too long to read it, and now I can't return it, and I just would like my $3.99 back. Don't buy this book. It's disgusting. And yeah, I gave it 1 star because I have nothing nice to say about it at all, like at all. Next we have our 2-star range, which is only 2 books, so not too bad. I do feel like I do a good job usually of not picking up books I don't want to read in the moment. So I feel like I'm just gonna have people like attacking me because I hate this book so much. And I don't understand why y'all love it. I really don't. And that book is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. I give this 2.5 stars. I don't think it was badly written. I just think that it was a very toxic relationship. I think you needed dual POVs to justify the actions happening in the book. Instead, we got one POV and it just felt like everything was on her to change and not on the guy. And I finished it because I had the audiobook from the library and I was like, I'm gonna finish this dang thing. It's only, you know, 4 hours or whatever. It was a waste of my time. I'm still so grumpy over that. I'm just disappointed. Like, everyone was hailing it as this like amazing thing. And I kind of had the same experience with The Hating Game also last year or 2 years ago, whatever that was. Like, it just wasn't for me. And I don't mind a bully romance necessarily or like a mean issues. I need dual point of view so I can be inside the other person's head to know if like, I guess if they understand what's going on. Like, is there vindictiveness happening? Is there not? Is it all in her head? Like, it's just too much. Not enough dual POV. Next, we have Love the Way You Lie by Skye Warren. This is the shoe humping book. This was part of my reading vlog with Tamika, where Tamika picked my TBR. I will link it up above. I read 4 dark and taboo books and I DNF'd one. Yeah, shoe humping. That's all I got for you. This book it needed a little more development at the end of the day. Then for that vlog, I also read Wanting Mr. Kane, which I gave 3 stars. So we're moving into the territory of like, you could read these books and you would enjoy them. And I read Puppet Master for that vlog as well by Lene May. I also enjoyed this. I thought it was a very interesting take on what was happening and why it was happening. It wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but I still really enjoyed my time with it. And I really enjoyed Wanting Mr. Kane and the Puppet Master for those things. Next is The Highwayman, which I read for the Childhood Sweethearts vlog, and I gave that a 3 out of 5 as well. So this is my first Kerrigan Byrne. I know this is an older one by her, and I still enjoyed it. Like, a 3 star is not bad, okay? It just means I'm not gonna necessarily recommend it on a recommendations video. Like, my rating system, a 3 is good. I know everybody else is like, 3 is a C. It's not a C. It was good. A 4 is like, I really liked this, and a 5 is like, oh my god, I'm never gonna shut up about this book. So I enjoyed this for the most part. I think it had a couple small issues, errors type situation and plotting, maybe a little too long, but I'm curious enough to still continue this series and read more by Kerrigan Byrne because I really, really like her writing. Next, we have something that I'm giving 3 stars and I don't even know what I should rate it, and that is Bunny by Mona Awad. I'm giving it a 3 star because I literally don't know what to rate this book. The first part was incredibly engaging and like amazing. The second part felt like a fever dream, and the third part was a disappointing ending. Yeah, so 3 stars. If you are interested in horror and like suspensey kind of weird books, this may be right up your alley. I read it because I heard it was weird, and I'm always intrigued when someone says something is weird to figure out why it's weird and what about it is weird and if I'm interested in it or not. Another honorary 3 star is Kissing the Coronavirus by M.J. Edwards. I don't know what to rate this. I don't think it deserves a 1 star because I think, though not the most innovative or beautifully written thing, the sheer amount of laughter I got out of a 16-page novella, I just don't know what to rate it. So Kissing the Coronavirus is free on KU right now. It is 16 pages and it is not good. But I also read The Skeleton King this month. So my barrier for like okay is pretty low right now. So this was okay. I mean, not good, not great, not spectacular, but freaking hilarious. Yes, I got a good laugh without it. I don't necessarily like think you should read it if you're not interested. It's a very, very not good. In that way, it is objectively not a good book, but it is a hilarious book that gave me a much needed laugh that day. Next, for the 3 stars, we have Beach Read by Emily Henry, which is the romance book of the year. I'm sure it's going to win the Goodreads awards. And it continues to be one of those titles that I call a romance book for not heavy romance readers to an extent. That's not to say like those that have liked it that are heavy romance readers are wrong. I just think at the end of the day, I was seeing a lot of non-predominantly romance readers hailing this book as a masterpiece, and I just had a lot of issues with it at the end of the day. I talked more in depth in my mid-month wrap-up about that, but just to reiterate it here, I didn't like that January was basically being mean to the genre she writes and demeaning it when the book is supposed to be in that genre and she writes in that genre. It just was weird. I think Gus felt like a good hero, but I think January really was a little too naive for me. Then we have Until Talon by Aurora Rose Reynolds. So the Until series by Aurora Rose Reynolds is a comfort series for me of sorts. Her writing is very samey all the time. It's insta love, it's over the top, it's ridiculous, but Until Talon felt like a return to the original Until series, and it felt good to go back and to be in the book and enjoy it, because I did not enjoy Until December, and I think Until Sage? I don't remember what the last one was, but there's one before Talon, and that one was okay, but Talon was like much better and felt like going back to this series I really love, which I did give that a 3.5. So we're moving into the 3.5s now. Next we have Temporary Wife Temptation by J.C. Lee. I read this for the Kindle Clear Out and I gave this a 3.5. I think this had potential. I think it needed like 20 more pages, which is hard because like Harlequin Desires are generally not over that 225, 230 page mark, I think. And I think it just needed a little more time to develop. I did not enjoy the bleak moment in this book. I think it was a little too dramatic. Just a little too dramatic. All right, let's talk about all my 4 stars. So Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Powers. I really liked Wilder Girls a lot. I think Wilder Girls is better than Burn Our Bodies Down, but I still really liked Burn Our Bodies Down. I liked the generational trauma being handled in this series, and I liked watching it all kind of unfold in this weird thing. The Midwest atmosphere was like spectacular. If you don't know, like my whole family's from the Midwest. I'm just like half Southern at this point. Literally, I've lived in the South more of my life than the Midwest, but yeah, like it had, I don't know, it had the spooky cornfield vibes, like that I was going to visit my grandparents. Definitely a good pick for this month if you want a spooky read. That's not too spooky. Then I have Awakening by Moni Boyce. This is the first book in a series about witches, and I really had fun with this. This was a solid entry into the series. I'm excited to continue the series at some point, but first I gotta get through other series I'm reading because I don't finish things, and it's a problem, big problem. I think if you are looking for a witch series to read this spooky season, jump on Moni Boyce's Awakened. Next, I read Born Darkly by Trisha Wolfe, which I also gave 4 stars. This was from Kindle Unlimited, and I think if you want to read a serial killer romance that is not like a genre romance, like it does not meet the qualifications of a genre romance, it is a duet, so we'll see if book 2 has an HEA, I'm not sure, but I can't be like, yeah, this is full-on romance, like capital R romance. A Harley Quinn Joker fan fiction retelling situation that is well done. It's not Nightmare Before Christmas fan fiction no one asked for, and delightful. This one has you covered. I'm reading the sequel in October. I'm very excited about it. Tamika and I are doing a buddy read actually, so that should be really fun. But yeah, I talked more in depth about this in the vlog, and yeah, I think it was good. It was quite good. It's a good read for October. It's dark though, so you have to be in the right mood for it. I know lately I've not been in the biggest mood for dark romances, although I've kind of I've kind of been diving headfirst into them too some lately because I'm in a weird spot. Then another 4-star is Eleanor Gray by Brittany C. Cherry. I read this for the Childhood Sweethearts vlog, reading the tropes, and I really liked it, y'all. It's such a cute Childhood Sweethearts. I think the first half of that book is like spectacular. The second half just does not hold up quite as well, hence the 4 stars. I still want to read more Brittany C. Cherry. I'm definitely planning to read Landon and Shay and the Elements series, but I'm going to be spacing them out because I've heard they can be pretty repetitive. So I know that for me to get through them, they're just gonna kind of be my like, maybe I want to almost cry books. I might be broken. I don't cry that much, so we'll see. Then another 4-star is Naked in Death by J.D. Robb. So I am doing like a faux buddy read. Like, so it's a real buddy read. We're just kind of all reading them and talking about them as we read them in a group chat. So this is the first in the Eve Dallas series, or the In Death series by J.D. Robb, aka Nora Roberts. This came out in 1995. And it was wild how much of the technology stuff felt still futuristic now, because the books are set in like 2058, which is like not that far off really in a way. God, I'm gonna be so old then. Whatever, we're gonna ignore that part. But anyways, I give this a 4-star. There are some slurs in here that are not great and make me angry, but otherwise I thought it was a really fun reread / entry into the series, and I'm excited to read more. Then we have Scoring Off the Field by Naima Simone, who is just another author I adore. Honestly, I always like her books. This was such a solid book. You do not need to read the other ones to read this one. This is like the middle one in the series, I believe, and I will eventually go back and read both. The first and the third book in this series. This is the Wives and Girlfriends series. This one is about Tenny, who is leaving her best friend as his assistant. She's done, she's tired of it, she's over it. She's been in love with him forever. He won't look at her like that, and it was so good, y'all. It really, really delivered in like the best ways possible. And I just had so much fun. I love that you're dropped right into the story and it's off. Like, you are off to the races. There is no like holding back or like build up. It just is boom, let's go. And I love that in a friends, childhood sweetheart / friends to lovers situation. Next, we have Wolf Song by TJ Klune. What do I even say about Wolf Song? Again, same blog as the other one. It was beautiful. I got teary-eyed during Wolf Song. I felt like I was having my heart ripped out at moments. It's very angsty, so if you are not in the mood for angst, skip this for now. But I do recommend it. I really, really had a good time with this book. A really good time. They are childhood friends to lovers. Nothing happens until he is of age, so there's that as well. And it just, poor Ox. My heart breaks. Oh, and it's a shifter romance, so it's perfect for October as well. Next, we have The Vampire Knitting Club by, oh no, what is that author's name? Oh, by Nancy Warren. This I also gave 4 stars to. We're still in the 4-star cat. I'm just gonna put like 4 stars down here and you'll know what category we're in. Anyways, this was pretty fun, honestly. I think this is my first ever cozy mystery actually, and I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed my time. I'm interested enough to read more of these. These are on KU and they were also on Hoopla for me. So there's a couple places you can get them, and I think they're on Scribd too. And this is just about a girl. She inherits her grandmother's knitting shop, and it turns out there's vampires in the town. And it's like in England. It's just very, I just had a blast. It was very just quick, easy read, fun, kind of a palate cleanser. Again, another series I plan to continue and read more of because it was a blast. Next, we have Magic Burns by Alona Andrews. I'm finally working through my reread of Kate Daniels / finishing of the series. I almost finished it. I think I got to book 7 possibly before. I'm not positive, maybe 6. So I want to reread all of them before I finish the series. And yeah, I had a blast. This was a good 4-star. I love watching Kate and Colin's relationship develop, and I really love just everything that's happening. I can't wait to read more, although I don't think I'm going to get to it until November unless I finish my Audible Escape TBR before then. Next, we have Sacrifice by Katie Roberts, which is out now. Katie Robert, which is out now. I gave this a 4-star. You know that. Why do I keep telling you that? You know that. So Sacrifice by Katie Robert is a male, female, polyamorous or reverse harem. Again, I know I don't like the term, but I know it's what people identify it as, and I hate it. It's just polyamory, okay? This is a vampire, very filthy, quick read, 150 pages maybe. Oh, it's so good. Mina gets sent to, I don't remember his name. Anyway, she gets sent to his house to be like basically a breeder, like to breed babies, vampire babies. and they find out that she's not just half vampire, she's half something else. And it's just a great build up, and then it turns into a menage, and then it turns into a quad, and it's smoking hot, just smoking hot. It was so good. I really love Katie Roberts' writing. I really love Katie's writing. I really love that she's doing this vampire menage series. I cannot wait for book 2. I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm just very ready. I love a good filthy book. Next, I listened to Just Like That by Cole McCade, which I have an ARC for as well, but I ended up picking up the audio on Hoopla, and this was part of the Karina Adores line, and oh my god, y'all, this book. Also a gut punch of a book. I felt very emotional, but very good, like a good emotional and good like sad feelings. There are a lot of trigger warnings for this book. I will link to them in the description box on Goodreads. The book opens with the trigger warnings, which I really appreciated, so I knew fully going in what I was coming up against, and I was prepared. So if you're not in the place for those things, definitely skip this, but if you are, dive right in, because this is Own Voices, Men Loving Men. There is great bi-male representation in this, and that made me, bi or pan representation, and that made me really happy. I love when that happens in books. I love seeing people be in love with either gender, any gender, whatever identity, don't care. I just love it, and this was so good. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited to read the second one in this series. All right, now we're moving in to our 4.5. So next we have White Whiskey Bargain by Jody Slaughter. This honestly might be a 5-star. I'm still debating it. This has Javier and Hannah, who are bootleggers. They're rivals. They have to team up to help defeat this evil enemy in town. And Javier is a cinnamon roll hero. I wrecked him in my cinnamon roll video, and this whole thing, like, Hannah was very strong-willed heroine and very like sure of herself. Again, someone I think a lot of people would call unlikable, but actually I find very likable and endearing, because we're not all just roll over and comply kind of people. Next we have When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, which I gave also a 4.5. This was so good, y'all, so good. I think Alyssa Cole did a great job in her debut thriller. I think the pacing had some slight issues. So besides a couple of small pacing issues I had, I thought this book unfolded beautifully. I really liked it. Next we have Like Lovers Do by Tracy Livesay. Tracy is quickly becoming a favorite / auto-buy author for me, and I really loved Like Lovers Do. I loved that we got to see this friend group again. I cannot wait for the third girls trip book. There was sex in a hammock that was delightful, so good. It hit the spot, you know? Next we have Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This is a YA spooky book. It's not horror really, it's paranormal, I guess. So this is about Yadriel and Julian. Julian is a ghost, and they're finding out what happened. People are going missing in town, and Yadriel's also fighting for his identity to be recognized by his family and by the powers that be. And it's just so good. I loved this book. I love this book so much I actually went to Barnes & Noble and bought this copy, and I have to figure out where I'm putting it on my shelves because I want it facing out, because it's so stinking beautiful. Next, I read The Roommate by Brandy Bush, not The Roommate by Rosie Dannon. I will be reading that soon though. The Roommate by Brandy Bush was such a good, dirty, filthy erotica novella. Oh my gosh, this is Katrina Jackson's pen name, by the way, if you didn't know. It's not like Hush Hush, like people know. So this was so good. I gave it a 4.5 because I wanted a little more, honestly, is the problem. It's only 66 pages and I just wanted a smidge more out of it. Otherwise, it was great. So it is about a roommate she hooks up with her roommate's parents, and it is so hot. There's some good, like, between the wall mutual noise making happening at one point. We'll just say that. I highly recommend you check it out. All right, and then we've got my 2 5-star reads of the month. Like I said, White Whiskey Bargain, I might make a 5-star later. I'm not sure yet. I can't decide. I think it's a 5-star. Anyways, these are The Secret by Julie Garwood. This is my first Julie Garwood ever, and I just thought that this book was a nice, warm, cozy Highland hug when I needed it. I loved it. It's just kind of over the top. It's kind of cliche, but in the best ways. She travels over the border with her best friend's brother-in-law, and they kind of fall in love, and there's just so many great moments. There's a whole discussion up on Jen's channel. We had a live show about it, and I just had a blast, y'all. Like, this was so good. So good. I really enjoyed it. It was a good audio. I can't recommend it enough. I'm really excited to read more Julie Garwood historicals. They just felt fresh and like kind of chill. Like, nothing was that traumatic in them or awful. So sometimes that's a nice change of pace. And then the last one, which I can't hold up because I just mailed it off to Jen over at the Book Refuge. It's my traveling book. I actually have some friends reading it to mark up, and it is, in my heart and soul, forever a like 5, but in reality I mark it as a 4 because there's some ableism in there that really makes me mad. But it's still an all-time favorite of mine, and that is Managed by Kristen Callahan. Y'all, this book is my heart and soul. It is a grumpy sunshine, I can't sleep without you, and bantery book as can all be. And it's a slower burn, and I love it. And I don't usually like slower burns, but I love it in this book. And I just could yell Scotty to the ends of the earth. And I love Scotty. I love Sophie. I love this book so much. I can't explain. I've read it twice this year. So I've read this book twice in under a year almost, or just over a year. I love this book. I loved Managed. If you've not read Managed, I cannot recommend it enough. If you do read it and want someone to yell about it with me, feel free to hit me up. Just speaks to me on another level. So yeah, that was all of the books I read in September. I forgot what month we're in. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and let me know your favorite book you read this month in the comment box down below, or drop a stack of books emoji, because whoo boy did I read a whole stack of books this month. If you want to join the Romance YouTuber Discord, there's a link in the description box down below. You can come. Why are you doing this? So if you want to join the Discord for Romancetube creators and people who watch Romancetube, feel free to click on the link down below to the Discord. Also, there's a Linktree link that links out to all of my social medias. You can find me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. If you want more romance content, be sure to click subscribe, and I'll be back in your box in just a few days with another video. In your box? I will be back in your subscription box with another video in just a few days. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, y'all. I will see you soon. Bye.